abusia yamakwaba shonkoso eba POG Media ene yedembekwa highway ne so highway ne de ensem bebre wo so a yenso yaje pene se yebema ya abidafo no ahu de eko ene de eba na dan na ekoso ewo highway ne so eye Dr. Bawumia na isi ano animguasia ato na enye asemketo akwa na obi bebisa se eye animguasia ben nko a na ato Dr. Bawumia eye emra bi ye de bremo Dr. Bawumia na opese or switch from Muslim to Christians na or switch to Muslim to Christians no ehun nsem bebre eba ya ye de bre ya bedwafo na we na Amadiya for omoye some program bi a omo invite Dr. Bawumia ene John Dramani Mahama ekopie mo hobi KT Hamod nso ekopie mo bi na omo kokopie mo no KT Hamod kasa no na ofre Dr. Bawumia na Dr. Bawumia ba no politics na omo de eba ba ye Muslims na omo ye omo ba be frɛ Allah no omo ba be sum Allah no omo invite no ɛhɔ na omo de kwa akɔyɛ politics na wei na imam ba akɔ ɛsɔre kyerɛ sɛ masa yenye saade no ha na yene Allah na ye ba be sum no yene no omo hia de Nyankopɔn no ana Allah na nkasa be ma omo leader obetumi ewuli Ghana na anya ha sei na ye de politics and oka Dr. Bawumia enim etwi nanim egu nanim ase ya enye asam keto akwa nti no enim guase a aka Dr. Bawumia na ende nyame nko anke ye pamo ne kura ye den efiri wa Dr. Bawumia esore se oba afede imam no chirim se ontena asena in the time nyanya den enso ye ensem bebre na course ye be pese ye be mi abedwafo no be mi akona yakwa akotie ensem a ekoso ewo ho na ansa na ebeko no or and some can be a fashion your comment section like share my phones no answer into me and can be madam answer
to this matter tomorrow. Now, this we are about to talk about is got to do with religion. Anyhow, some Ghanaians, especially the NPP, any Bawumia, how they are deliberately I just may receive message move, but I'll maintain my level. So when it comes to religion, they're very, very delicate. And there's something the NPP government is doing. And what they are doing, and they say, they are trying, especially Mahamudu Bawumia, he's trying everything possible. So Obeki can religions nitia boom, all because of power. Now, the Amadiya mission in Ghana, they had an event. And they invited former President Mahama, they invited Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia. Now, something happened there. It should be one thing, a big lesson to Ghanaians, especially our religion. Program Nekosono, Mahamudu Bawumia Kobi, KT Hammond, Makacha Ghana for Oye Penyinia we Jimmy. KT Hammond started Jimmy Yeno. We Jimmy fitim kwara bremwa ba bedru ne. And the Ghana for Eda which so KT Hammond so man be minister. KT Hammond naturally Oye Jimmy for. Oye Amadiya ni adwene woni trim. But KT Hammond has never used his brain. And you know why? Because the Bawumia camp now KT Hammond count, they believe say when they lie to the religious bodies, when they are able to pitch the religious bodies against each other, when Bawumia is able to infiltrate yan sorene yan sumna and no ne betuma keka mu tirabo momu nyina bedi Bawumia chi. It is always steady Mahamudu Bawumia the line of campaigner, it has always geared towards religion. The oya ne say owura asori dan we mu not the campaign owura ho. Owura asori dan we mu not the campaign owura ho. The last time Okopia Obuasi, that's a Pentecost, was a Methodist, was a press before your program. You could see say MPP for ekuta placards. Was sorry them a whole event and share MPP entuma and a Bawumia dim and a press be sorry for say to collection. Now we did not see these kind of things before this group of NPP4 took power. Now, what they have been able to do, they have been able to bring the religion down to the point whereby today, for Ghanaians to even listen to religious leaders or listen to if we say Mahamudu Bawumia MPP, their idea now is do campaign onyame asori them. And what they do is they don't select. It could be a Christian religion, it could be Islamic religion, it could be any religion. All that they want to do is they want to destabilize the religion to the point whereby they will all be politicized. In a neutral ground, and to speak on issues without being biased. And internet today, there are so many people in Ghana, they are having issues with a lot of their religious bodies and their leadership. And before the NPP, we didn't have that problem. But these religious bodies, they were all there. They have lived with us since the beginning of time. We have never seen religion and people cannot respect the religion. And we have been speaking about this. We have been speaking against this. Now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say, so one for religion and bobo and religious leaders any religion any omudi or sumechia and he can never win power. But it is dangerous. It is dangerous because say politicians the political statement and political biasness in Roma the gospel it will diminish, and when the gospel diminishes the rest is chaos. Because majority of Ghanaians, whether Christian or Muslim, what is holding us together? One thing. We believe in one God, even though we worship that God from different channels. That is the only thing that we hold on to. Because at the end of the day, we need to live in harmony. And until we say we have been able to overcome not because we are exceptional, not because it is because we have come to a point to understand the say or some differently until we need to respect that. Whether we are Christian, we are Muslim, we are Hare Krishna, we are we believe say this is one God. At the end of the day, we can all worship him through different sources. But Bawumia is forcing the church to become political. Bawumia, since he decided or running to be president, he is using religion. He is spitting on religion. He is, at the end of the day, as we speak, he is inflicting a lot of confusion, and it is becoming dangerous. But there's something that every day, BBC, we need to always sit back and say, hey, we need to look at this, take a step back and start speaking. Now, the Amadiya mission in Ghana had an event. And we invited Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. They invited President Mahama. But something disgusting, something at a time happened. And it is the lowest point in our politics as a nation. And any religious body, any believer who belongs to any religious body should speak against this. And this should be the lowest in our religion. We should not allow politicians like that to even think, say, they will lead us. Because when these things happen and we don't get leaders who are honest, leaders who believe that the gospel is different from politics, leaders who do not put their interest before the interests of politicians, gradually we get politicians destroying the church, destroying religious bodies because of power. The leader of the Amadiya mission in Ghana, Alhaji Muhammad bin Sali, has done something unique. And I will say this on my platform. He is not God. He is not the holiest man on earth. He's human like us. But there's one principle that he has decided to live with. He might have done something good today. If he does something wrong tomorrow, we will speak against it. But when people decide to put God first, when people decide to say, and sana nipa interest about such to be revered, they are supposed to be done, they are supposed to be commended, they are supposed to be given the needed nod, and such religions are supposed to be respected. And that is what the leader of the Amadiya mission in Ghana did. Mahmoud Bawumia and Kesi went to this event, and the most despicable thing in the history of this country happened. But Amadiya for Ghana Damase. And I sit here as a Christian. But what I saw from your leadership, and I want to say this, say Adia we be see. Now say NDC for Krana Sadina. I'm not going to sit here and defend it. Every religion should be able to tell Ghana for say whether it's NDC or MPP when it comes to asori them your politics. Say John Dramani Mahama eko jina sorry bi ana NDC for ko jina sorry bi with Mahama. Na mo koye de KT Hamod any Bawumia koye wo Amadiya for program asea. Na say you we all up and speak against it, because we should not allow greedy, very corrupt people who just want power to underestimate or undermine the presence of God. People who are there. Now, video, let's watch everything. Yeah, I'll tell you something. You're still watching. With all due respect, celebration.
I have some no kitwabi. I mean, what can you but Bibi Kakraka were chilling and Bede Soran Sana Vice President of Abakasa. Or the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Juan Fabian Sordo, the President of the Republic of Ghana was January 2025. President of Ghana 2025. Mr. Current Vice President, President to be, you are invited. Oh, yeah, ready. Also, yeah, ready. Madam, 1 second. 1 minute. Your Excellency, I'm the moderator. My senior brother, Honorable, took the ring out of me. Yes. He said I invited. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community completely disown the statement that the Honorable Kesi has made. He has expressed his own desires. Political desire. Our desire is that leader who will lead Ghana once more. Who will lead Ghana once more into its position in the Committee of Nations, so that we can command that respect which Ghana is known for. That is the leader we praying to Allah, that Allah Ta'ala should give us that kind of leader. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala. No kitwabi. I mean, what can you but Bibi Kakraka were chilling and Bede Soran Sana Vice President of Abakasa. Or the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Juan Fabian Sordo, the President of the Republic of Ghana was January 2025. President of Ghana 2025. Mr. Current Vice President, President to be, you are invited. Oh, yeah, ready. Also, yeah, ready. Madam, 1 second. 1 minute. Your Excellency, I'm the moderator. My senior brother, Honorable, took the ring out of me. Yes. He said I invited. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community completely disown the statement that the Honorable Kesi has made. He has expressed his own desires. Political desire. Our desire is that leader who will lead Ghana once more. Who will lead Ghana once more into its position in the Committee of Nations, so that we can command that respect which Ghana is known for. That is the leader we praying to Allah, that Allah Ta'ala should give us that kind of leader.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum. What's it? So obviously, the vice president is here with.
I have some no kitwebi. I mean, what can you know? But Bibi Kakraka were chilling and made it so and vice president of Abakasa. Or the vice president of the Republic of Ghana, Juan Fabian Sordo, the president of the Republic of Ghana was January 2025. President of Ghana 2025. Mr. Current Vice President, President to be, you are invited. Oh, yeah, ready. Also, yeah, ready. Madam, 1 second. 1 minute.
Your Excellency, I'm the moderator. My senior brother, Honorable, took the ring out of me. Yes. He said I invited. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community completely disown the statement that the Honorable Katie Hammond has made. He has expressed his own desires. Political desire. Our desire is that leader who will lead Ghana once more. Who will lead Ghana once more into its position in the Committee of Nations so that we can command that respect which Ghana is known for. That is the leader we praying to Allah, that Allah Ta'ala should give us that kind of leader. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.
Now, this video, Saosha video ni Kekenajin say it's just about Amadiya mission. Then you are seriously getting it wrong. This has been the tactics of NPP. They are forcing some of the religious bodies to accept their political ideology and their presidential candidates. This is the first time that we get a presidential candidate force himself on a religion. And it is not only Amadiya. We have seen it in different religious groups. How the NPP goes there and they basically turn that religious body into a political train where they expect everybody who is part of that Sa or Somno to follow Dr. Bawumia. And this is something we need to speak against. This is something that is dangerous. This is something that we are not supposed to allow politicians to make it a norm where we want to build a nation that God, Allah in his own wisdom wants us to build. Because if we allow politicians, a Jimmy Forty Hammond to come with Bawumia to force themselves on the word, to let their political ambition overtake the word, what Allah in his own wisdom, what the gospel stands for, then we as a nation are getting blind, because politics cannot lead us. It is only when we allow Allah in his own wisdom to choose who he believes, and through our effort, by thinking through the wisdom Allah in his own wisdom granted us to select leaders who respect the will of Allah, respect the will of the people, respect himself. So you are not supposed to go to church and it's a solid them. Now go catch a sorry for and say, hey, Bawumia and the next president, what about them? Where Jimmy? Don't you respect the presence of Allah? At least, say, when Jimmy cry, you have to respect the presence of Allah, because before Allah, there is no politician before Allah. It is souls that have gathered in the name of Allah. And you cannot bring your foolish political ambition when Allah's presence is felt. When people from different tribes, different background, different homes come together in the name of Allah, you do not make a human being You do not come and sell a human being before the greatness of Allah. You have committed the biggest crime. And that is what Katie Hammond and Mahmoud Bawumia and the MPP, they have been doing continuously in our politics since they came to power. So the last time I was speaking about the Pentecost fire, today the NPP is more visible in the Church of Pentecost that we all revere and respect than the gospel. Because when you allow the political statement to lead the gospel, then it means we are all being led into a ditch. And consistently, Mahmoud Bawumia and the NPP, they have made it a point that they are going to infiltrate every church. That is why I say, even though the leader of Amadiya, Al-Hajj Muhammad bin Salih, he is not perfect, but at least that moment he showed that the Amadiya mission in Ghana stands for truth and stands for Allah, and that every single human being have their political preference. So it is not before the people who are ready, who are clean to accept the word of Allah. It is not before them, and you will choose a human being's political ambition over Allah's word. So every single Ahmadiyya person in Ghana, you should applaud yourself. Your leadership have shown, say, yes, these political parties, and I'm not going to basically say NPP Nkwa, but they have taken the lead. Say, if there is an event, na say Ahmadiyya for free NDC for, na John Dramani Mahama bejina ho, na NDC ni bejina ho because say, just bring in the next president, that nonsense supposed to be shut down. Because that is not a political platform. The reason why they call you people to be part of it is because they want you people to understand that even though they are a religious body, even though you people belong to different political parties, they still see you people as Ghanaians and as children of Allah. And I believe, say, if you are an Amadiya in Ghana today, what Katie Hammond and Mahmoud Bawumia and say, they wanted to infiltrate and poison the Amadiya mission. Because if your leaders had not proactively thought through this to make an intervention, then automatically it would have sent a signal out there, say, Ahmadiyya, sorry, no, support Mahmoud Bawumia, it has become a political church. And that is dangerous, because if the leader had not come out to speak the way he spoke, to let Ghanaians understand, say, Yene Ahmadiyya for, Eya Onyame, and the Amaya Waha, say, a Pesi, ye Obimani di Ghana Swa. First of all, Onyanko Point Jumuno, Eya Pia Obia, Obe and Kaboma, Oniminyansa, Obu Nyamiasam. The human being, original set penino, or individual, when he goes to vote, there's nobody there. But when we allow politicians to come and do this, Campaing for the Jaima Mahmoud Bawumia Kasaya, what would have happened? And I say, you and I would say, Ahmadiyya for Nina AMPP for, which is bad for the image of the church. And you are not supposed to use one mistake like this to destroy what Allah in his own wisdom has built. 1882, thereabout, and Ahmadiyya came into existence. It has gone through different regimes. It has gone through different eras. It has gone through so many things, but it has stood still and believed that this was established to extol Allah, to make Allah the omnipotent, the Allah the greatest. It wasn't, even though it has gone through the mill, it never took stance when it came to politics. It was orchestrated, it was planned. They wanted to soil the Ahmadiyya church, Ahmadiyya mission. And I would like to tell the Ahmadiyya people, this is the time you people have to be vigilant. Bawumia, if he gets the opportunity, he will destroy your church, your mission. He will destroy what God has built. The little mistake Ahmadiyya for, and it does not go to only Ahmadiyya. What I want to tell Ghana for, and sorry I want Ghana to say, the slightest mistake you would do, Mahmoud Bawumia and MPP for no, these dirty people, they will destroy what God has built. You see, today, it is so difficult for the Church of Pentecost leaders to make a statement without people reading meanings into it. For you know, the leadership of Pentecost Church are not political. They don't have any political affiliation. But because consistently you have allowed a political party to take control of the gospel, which they are supposed to make, they're in the lead, you know. Today, whenever they speak, you are forced to read political connotations in them. And with a sad heart, with a painful heart, NPP led by Bawumia, they have destroyed the Pentecost church. That is why the last time I said the Pentecost fire has not died yet. It still needs to look at itself, look inward, and start to bring the fire back by moving itself, its teachings, its practices from politics. Its leadership is too intertwined in political activities. They are making the Pentecost fire, the Pentecost church, believe or think that it has taken a political position. The moment the people start to think that way, that fire, that Holy Ghost fire that holds or bonds the church, it disappears and it becomes a regular group. And what the Amadiya leader did today was to save Allah, to save Allah's word. Because it takes one man, it will take only one man to mislead millions of people who believe in Allah. Let me tell you for a fact, no man on earth has seen Allah before. And Allah, in his own wisdom, created man in his own image. He has a reason why he put every man on this earth with a spirit in him. Allah has the power to control every man, but Allah has given the will to man to do what they want. Because Allah wants to see how far you can go to recognize that he is your creator. We are fallible. If we allow men, they will take us away from Allah. And because we don't want to move away from Allah, we don't give some men who, because of political ambition, greed, we are not supposed to give them room to even get the little or slightest ideas that they can mislead the people of Allah. So the Ahmadiyya church, they have set an example. And this goes to all the churches in Ghana. It's about time the church moved away from active partisan politics. It is about time the church made the people understand we are the church. We don't take sides. We basically are the people of God. Even though we vote, we cannot make our church represent politicians or political parties. And if this man had not taken the step, whatever from 1882 that put together the Amadiya mission, it would have collapsed that day. Yesterday or today, it would have collapsed it. And we are not supposed to allow politicians to do that. We are not supposed to allow politicians to do that. We are not supposed to allow politicians to do that. Because the more we do that, the more we separate ourselves from Allah. Politics came. Allah existed before politics. Politics came. Men existed before politics. We should not allow greedy politicians like Bawumia and his group of MPP who are so desperate. You could see the desperation. You could see that they have underestimated or undermined the power of Allah in the presence of the children of Allah. How can you even think about it? And to say, in the presence of Allah, where 2 or 3 have met in the name of Allah, you want to basically instill a politician into the brains of the people. Then it means you hate Allah. It means your ambition and the wisdom in your head is basically about your greed. It's about your selfishness. It is not about extolling Allah and making Allah great. Bawumia is a munafiki. He has never believed in Islam. He has never believed in Allah. He has always been an opportunist, a political opportunist who always want the opportunity to destroy what Allah has built. That's why I keep saying that the leader of Ahmadiyya has saved the word of Allah. Allah will be pleased. He might not be a holy man. He might not be the best man on earth. But at least, if today he loses his life, he has at least saved the Ahmadiyya mission. He has at least saved the presence of Allah in the middle of men. Because what we saw, my fellow Ghanaians, the video you watched, you should not see this slightly. If they had sat back to allow this to happen, because also Tia said, K.T. Hammond, it wasn't his job to introduce the vice president. It also said it is a calculated thing by the NPP Bawumia to instill Bawumia on all religious bodies. K.T. Hammond was there as a guest. Why do you think that K.T. Hammond will forcefully try and print something in the brains of holy people who have willingly decided to worship their creator? Why do you think K.T. Hammond will force himself to introduce Bawumia to the people that this guy should be president 2025? They knew what they were doing. That is what they have been doing. They were basically going to destroy the Ahmadiyya mission. And thanks be to Allah, the omnipotent, the Allah, the beginning and the end, the Allah, the greatest. At least, if that man, the leader, Now what he did, he was mad for Allah. So now if you saw what he did as being disrespectful, if you saw what Muhammad Salih did as being disrespectful to the chief, the vice president, that man at that moment was crazy for Allah, because men live on earth for Allah. And me being brought up as a Christian, and when I see things like this, when I see men who want to destroy what Allah has built, it worries my heart. Ghana is Ghana because upon all our religious differences, we have always believed in one thing, that whatever the channel that we are worshiping Allah through, at the end of the day, there's one Allah that we all believe in. So men, because of power, Bawumia is too desperate. Bawumia is dangerous. NPP, they are destroying us. The religious bodies are allowing Mahmoud Bawumia to destroy us. That is why sometimes you listen to Islamic scholars, they make emphatic statement. Bawumia or munifiki. Bawumia is a disease. Bawumia is a pock in the middle of a mosque, because he has always infiltrated and poisoned people who are willingly and ready to serve and make sure Allah's name is proclaimed higher. Until every time he finds himself in the middle of men, in the middle of 1, 2, 3 men who in the name of Allah have gathered, Mahmoud Bawumia, his selfish interest always takes lead. Because if Bawumia really believed and respected Allah, when Kesi made that statement, he would have sat down. But he was quick to rise up, because he has chosen his own interest over Allah. Because before you are invited to these religious events, you need to understand Allah is first. Whoever is sitting there at that moment should, no matter what, understand that we are here in the name of Allah, and you should not make yourself higher than why we are here. Mahamudu Bawumia Sankano Yenkremoni Papa, he would have shook his head to say, no, we don't do this. This is not right. I am a Muslim, and I've been taught to know that in the presence of Allah, no man is great. But Bawumia was quickly. He was getting up. He was going to speak, because he was in a campaign mood, because he thought that is the time for him to release the poison so that his political ambition of being a president comes through. So when you study Islamic scholars, they have always said it is better to keep somebody who is not a Muslim as your leader than to keep a liar or a munifiki who is a Muslim as your leader, because Allah's greatest hate, what Allah hates on earth, there are 3 things: adultery, lies, and then murder. Allah hates all these 3 things. So if you are even a Muslim and you see a fellow Muslim who always puts himself before Allah, who is always a liar, you need to understand that that person does not respect your religion. What the Amadiya leadership did, they went to my culture and say, almost save the mission. I swear to God, if this man had not stood up and allowed Bawumia to speak, that would have been the end of the Ahmadiyya mission. I swear to God. But Allah in his own wisdom always finds way into the heart of men for men to fight for him on earth. And that has always been the hallmark of Allah. Every single day, somebody sees something and says, it is Allah who can only touch the heart of man. When you read the Quran, it says, unless Allah gives permission, nobody can intercede for you. So you need to understand, whatever the man did there, it wasn't by himself. It was Allah who was saying that what I have built on earth for my kids and my children to believe in and to worship me, I will not allow a fellow man who is a munifiki, who does not respect me, who has always put his interest before me, to destroy it. That's why when you watch the video, the man came. He didn't even understand, but he had to speak.
I have not get to I mean, what can you know, but Bibi Kakraka were chilling and made it so and vice president of Abagasa. Already the vice president of the Republic of Ghana, Juan Fabian Sordo, the president of the Republic of Ghana was January 2025. President of Ghana 2025. Mr. Current Vice President, President to be, you are invited. Oh, yeah, ready. Also, yeah, ready. Madam, 1 second.
1 minute. Your Excellency, I'm the moderator. My senior brother, Honorable, took the ring out of me. Yes. He said I invited. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. we members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community completely disown the statement that the Honorable Kesi Hammond has made. He has expressed his own desires. Political desire. Our desire is that leader who will lead Ghana once more, into its position in the Committee of Nations, so that we can command that respect which Ghana is known for. That is the leader we praying to Allah, that Allah Ta'ala should give us that kind of leader. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.
And you know, it hurts. And you know, Samira was sitting there. And that is what they do. Samira Bawumia was sitting there. Mahamudu Bawumia was sitting there. And that is what they do every time. And to be very honest with you, I'm not going to say the leader of Amadiya is the most purest man on earth. He has made statements that have disagreed with him. At a point, he said Dampare is the best police chief. That point, I don't agree with him, because Dampare led his men to go shoot people at Techiman South. They were Muslims. The Amadiya leader did not speak on it. So when the Amadiya leader says Dampare is the best police chief in Ghana and what he has done has never happened, I disagree with him, because even those people who were shot at Techiman South, they are Muslims. Why didn't the Amadiya leader tell Dampare that is wrong? But in this instance, I agree with him, because you cannot, when it comes to the word of Allah, when it comes to the greatness of Allah, man cannot take the lead. Samira Bawumia was sitting there, and every time they want to go and destroy Allah's work, they go together. They always go together. You see, today when she went there, she was in a veil like Eddie and Salah Chensi with good net abesin in Nasi, because Ojins Ahmadiyya for the Jimmy. Mahamudu Bawumia and Ireno, they are political jobbers. They look at you people and they feed on you, they destroy the religions. And Samira Eko Amadiya for no wa dressing net akogu ni nase odun kran no apaina we mu no nenam ho, because she believes say eyenkremofo ni bi agimi. It is all about appearance. It is all about being a hypocrite. So that is the problem with these two people. They are the Munifikis. Bawumia and his wife, they don't believe in Islam. They see themselves as Christian more than being Muslims. They only see them as tools for winning power. That is why sometimes you see Mahamudu Bawumia, every time he's going to a church, but you see his wife following him. What they do is they want to always put in the brains of people that we are people that you can trust. They cannot boldly proclaim the name of Allah. Samira today she's in church. She has wore corset. Her boobs are all in her face. The next day she has worn a veil like Salah Chensi, and she's sitting in front of Muslims. Where do you belong? Because if you are a genuine Muslim, what we know about Muslim or Islamic religion is that every day, 24 hours, you have to cover yourself as a Muslim woman. So today, you are standing outside wearing a disco cloth that costs $50,000. You have a slit that has your cleavage, that has your shape showing to everyone that you are the one with the shrinked ass. Then you come to me and you wear a veil. What are you portraying? And that is what they do every single day. We need to understand and respect what these people have done today. If you are an Ahmadiyya person, you should be angry. You should not see this in a slight. You should not just sit there and say, oh, it happened. If your leader had not taken a step, that Ahmadiyya, the religion that started around 1882 thereabout, would have been condemned today. What religion does not need is false perception. When people create perception, People's action creates perception for a religion. That is the beginning of the end of the religion. And today, the Amadiya mission has been stronger. It has shown that it is unique and it is ready to speak truth. It is ready to serve Allah in His wisdom. It is ready to at least show Ghanaians it is not a political setup. What about the rest of our religious bodies, especially my own fellow Christian religion? Why have we allowed these politicians? Why are we allowing them to destroy us? Why are we always allowing these people? Ahmadiyya has shown the way. They have shown us that Allah is great, that we should always focus on Allah. Politics should play no role whenever we meet in the name of Allah. Bawumia has always, and scholars have told us, Bawumia is a liar. Bawumia is a munifiki. Bawumia has never, ever stood to tell Ghanaians that he is a true Muslim who believes in Allah and does not lie. Bawumia cannot even today on Tuminjina Ghana of Wedimum say me if we had made a mistake, if the Ahmadiyya leadership had sat down, Bawumia would have destroyed what Allah has built over these years. We all need to understand it's about time we started speaking on these issues.
Allah ka zama musulmi, amma akwai wani musulmi na nan yana kunya ma a ce shi musulmi ne. Yana kunya ma a ce shi musulmi ne. Haka ne ko ba haka bane? Musuluncin sa in yana cikin musulmai, amma in ya kebe ya fi son arnanci. In ya kebe ya fi son arnanci. Ya fi yana jin dadin arnanci fiye da musulunci ko musulmi ne. Muna da ministoci musulmai, haka ne ko ba haka bane? Muna da MPs musulmai, haka ne ko ba haka bane? Wanda yafi kowa shine muna da vice president musulmi ne. Brother mune, our Muslim brother, His Excellency Dr. Bawumia, muna alfakhari musulmi ne. Amma ina son tambaye ku, so nawa kuka ga Bawumia ko His Excellency Dr. Bawumia ya shiga church, ya je church nan, ya je nan, ya je nan, yana karban bonfire ya durgusa, pastor ya doki hannu ya dibiya kanshi, yana karban impaibo in the name of yana neman power. You are jumping from one pastor to another, one church to another, just because of power. Kamanta kuma Allah na ce, Qulillahumma malikal mulki tu'til mulka man tasha wa tanzi'ul mulka mimman tasha wa tu'izzu man tasha wa tudhillu man tasha biyadikal khair innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir. Allah shi ke da mulki wanda ya ga dama yake ba. Zuwan ka ceci da zuwa wurin pastors bai baka mulki. Ka saya sayin daka and be proud of yourself being a Muslim. In kana neman power ka fara da yawayenka musulmai. An yi Christmas kaga ya je cecin nan ya durgusa amma in faibo ya ba pastors arziki buronya haka. Ina tambayar ku tsakaninku da Allah, da aka fara azumi zuwa yau kun ga vice president an gwada shi wani masallaci ya je tafsiri? Jama'a ban ji muryar ku ba. Kun ga vice president ya je wani tafsiri, gashi Qur'ani na gaban shi yana jin Qur'ani. Kun ga an gwada shi cikin masallaci ya je a tarawih. Kun ga an gwada shi tahajjud an fara zuwa yau kwana na hudu dare ke ga kun ga ya je tahajjud. What are you telling me, your excellency? Al-Habasha fa inna biha malikun la yuzlamu indahu ahada. Akwai wani basarake kasan Habasha yana wurin, manzo Allah ya samu labarin shi, mu ainihin mushriki ne, banasare ne, yana bautan annabi Isa, amma yana da adalci. Ku jiyo, yana da adalci, yana da gaskiya, ba azzalimi bane, ba macuci bane, ba mai cin amana bane, bai yadda kan zalunci, shi bai zalunci wani, bai yadda a zalunci wani. In yaga an zalunci wani yana kwace hakkin wanda aka zalunci ya ba wanda aka zalunci. Shi yasa manzo Allah ce kuje wurin shi, na ja shi kenan. ashe rayuwa ana iya ka rayu da mutum ko da arne ne amma adili ne, amma ba azzalimi bane, amma ba macuci bane, amma ba makaryaci bane, ba wanda ke sa a kwace hakkin mutane bane, arne ne tunda yana da adalci, ba azzalimi bane, ba dan iska bane, ba mai cutar da mutane bane, ba wai wulakanta mutane bane, ba mai kwace hakkokin mutane bane, ba laifi musulmi kai jiki da shi. Kai in ma takara ne ka sabe shi tunda adili ne, tunda adili ne. Addinin musulunci yana bukatar adilai. In aka kai kan zancen shagabanci, in aka kai kan zancen rayuwarmu na duniya mu zamna lafiya, ba wanda zai baka wannan sai adili wanda ba azzalimi bane. Amma koya ka ci sunan musulmi, kai ne baka bar kowa ba, kai ne baka bar kanka da kanka ba, kai ne tsakaninka da Allah bala'i, tsakaninka da al'umman garinka bala'i, tsakaninka da matanka bala'i, tsakaninka da kungiyanka bala'i, to arnin da ke da adalci ya fi albarka. Wannan wadihi ne, in ka je ka sake magana na maganan ka ne.
Fellow Ghanaians, there's something we all need to understand. And every day, you might not like me because of your political affiliation. As I sit here, I have made my stance clear. My stance in Ghana say, Ghana at this juncture, the NPP that told us to say, they need to leave power. That's it. The reason why I sit here every day and tell you, oh, you're rational. That's an open Ghana year. There are two political parties in Ghana and we can't change it. Look at their track record. And look at what they have done. The Omaka so meye and the Omaye. And when the time I sit here, I pick the NDC Green Book and I show you at the Kudientia in Ghana politics, I respect the NDC now to lead it. And they say, whatever is in the Green Book they told us they were going to do, they did it. I cannot say the same of the NPP. So when it comes to politics, we have our own ways of understanding politics. But when it comes to religion, whether you are Hare Krishna, whether you are a Muslim, whether you are a Christian, whether you are even a pagan, whether you are a traditionalist, whatever you believe in, we all understand that at the end of the day, there is God. That is the most important thing. So we should not, as a nation, ever allow men to destroy what God has built. We can disagree and agree on politics, and I respect that. But when it comes to Allah, when it comes to God who created you and I, no man should use politics as a springboard to destroy what Allah has built. Because without Allah, there will be no you, there will be no me. Politics, we created politics. Men created politics. We created politics. We created our laws. We voted for men like us to lead us. So it is up to us to make those changes. But when it comes to who basically gives us life and who is responsible for us as humans, who is responsible for controlling our soul, it is the omnipotent Allah. And we should not allow man born by a woman to try and disrespect the greatness of Allah. That I will not agree. At any day, any time, I'll fight that. Because when you destroy what Allah has built, you have destroyed my soul. I might not believe in what you believe in. I might not worship the way you worship. But at the end of the day, what you believe in at the end of the day, as the Almighty Allah, I believe in it. And I will not allow man, out of political greed, to destroy what we all live on. Because we are all blood suckers. And we take our energy, our blood, spiritual energy from Allah. We cannot allow a politician to disorganize and take us from our source of energy. Bawumia and the MPP continuously, they have done this for the past 8 years. The church, the religion, it has lost its relevance. Today, when you speak as a man of God, people doubt you because of your affiliation and some religious body allowing politicians, the NPP, to infiltrate the word that we held on to. Ghana, we have been through different kinds of moods. from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Now we are in 2024. We as a nation have gone through different moods. But in all, we have respected that it is God that we all believe in. So we should not allow some men out of desperation to destroy what we all cherish. The church today does not hold the power it holds again. That power of neutrality, that power of spirituality, that power of their leadership, the church has lost it. The day Ekufuado took office, the day these NPP people say Omu Besi Cathedral, that was the beginning of the destruction of what Allah has built on earth in Ghana. The day Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado gathered men of God, and at the end of the day, force them to believe in a lie, force them to believe in political lies, force them not to be honest in their deliberation, in their preaching. That was the beginning of the destruction of what Allah has created on earth. And we as Ghanaians, we need to get up, stand up and speak against it. Irrespective of the political party, if it is the NDC that enters a church and start to do partisan politics, we all are supposed to rise up and say, no, here is different. Here is the place of God. You can do your politics outside our church. We have no problems. We are not supposed to allow politicians and political parties to override the importance and the power of Allah. That is my worry. Ghana is getting to a point whereby we are no more strong spiritually. We are no more strong spiritually. Ghanaians, we have gotten to that point, we cannot believe in the word of God. Who has made that possible? It's the politician. It is this NPP politicians, this government that came into place from 2017. The things are seen, we have never experienced anything like that in the history of this country. From Islamic religion to the Christian religion to all the other small religions, we have never experienced it before. Ghana, your drew point to be near bra. The only thing we rely on is our religious bodies and the leadership. Today, can we rely on our religious bodies? Can we rely on our teachers? No, because today, a political party like the NPP led by Bawumia, they have been able to taint every single majority, not all of them, majority of our religious leaders. When politicians want to know the ideas of religious bodies and people who form religious bodies. Because listen, when it comes to a church, people make church. It is us coming together to form what we call a church. At the end of the day, the moment we go into our various homes, we are citizens who are living our normal life and citizens who are supposed to vote to elect leaders. That
Abusia Wayne and Sama. Course, our highway. So Kelvin, Baby Taylor, and my hot details are, of course, what the Masuti Muhu, dear, of course, politics are, and Dr. Bawumia, Quacoyeno, Muslim community, and the Omas strike on him, and yeah, as some kids are crying. But they have a phone as I say, Omaji Penny, a cocoa seas are audio way, and my now, your best answer I say, or and some can be a fashion, your comment section like share, Marfa Fonsono, answer into me, and can be a POG Media, Madam Master.